You're listening to the Behind Ears podcast, because everybody does Disney differently. The Behind Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. Hey everybody, it's Mr. Chris, and I gotta tell you about Expedition Roasters. Listen, I'm a pretty big coffee drinker, just like a lot of you are, but these people have got coffee right. Their coffees are made from selectively sourced premium and specialty grade Arabica beans. They provide the absolute best flavor and aroma, and select roasts even come directly from a single estate farm for a truly perfect cup that is never bitter. They've got awesome Disney-inspired flavors, such as Roundhouse Roast, Route 66, Skipper's Brew, Dark Side Roast, Redhead Rum, and one of my favorites, Bobsledder's Brew. Listen, if you want to have the taste of Disney in every cup, give them a try today. ExpeditionRoasters.com, and Behind the Ears podcast listeners gets an extra 20% off your first order by using the coupon code EARS20. That's right, EARS20. And you can find them over at ExpeditionRoasters.com. Brew your happy place. If you have a little one and you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to need a stroller. I'll tell you what, KingdomStrollers.com is the place where you want to look into. I'll tell you, I've destroyed my fair share of strollers while at Walt Disney World, and those things are not cheap. But getting something from KingdomStrollers.com, they'll be able to help you pick out the perfect stroller for you. And the nice part is that because they're a Disney preferred provider, they'll be able to drop it off and pick it up right from your Disney resort at no extra charge. So if you don't want to necessarily destroy your stroller in the process, and you want to have a great Disney vacation with your little one, contact KingdomStrollers.com and they'll set you right up. That's KingdomStrollers.com. This episode of the Behind Ears podcast is not brought to you by Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets. That's right, Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets, only found at Casey's Corner. They're small, awesome little nuggets of hot dog and breadedness. It is so good. You want to get a whole bunch of them with fries. That's right, Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets. Get them with ketchup, get them with mustard, get them with cheese. Just get them. You can share, although it's going to be really hard to do so. Go ahead and get them as you wait for the fireworks show. Get them as you wait for a parade. Get them as you walk out of the park and enjoy them with a friend. Who am I kidding? Just enjoy them. That's right, Casey's Corn Dog Nuggets, available over at Casey's Corner.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Ears podcast. I am Uncle Daddy. That's Mr. Chris. What's going on, brother?
Man, I know I probably shouldn't have thrown that last fake ad in there at the last minute, because it's been a while since I've done it, and I just started making everybody crack up, and including us, which doesn't make for a very professional beginning of the show. But hey, man, it's good to see you. Glad you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. That was a rough week, but we had to keep going through it. So, yeah, some crazy things going on inside the Disney realm, I would say. Some people have been getting a little wet down there. Looks like some crazy weather. This might be the biggest storm I've ever seen. It seems like everybody is getting wet. Everybody's getting rain. You were saying you got rain all last week. We're getting rain all this week. Disney's getting rain right now. I see a lot of angry people. They're like, I spent $5,000 on my trip and it rained every day. Listen, a rainy day at Disney's better than a sunny day at work.
Well, it's not just that. It's like there are people that are saying, did I make a mistake because now all the weather says it's going to be thunderstorming while I'm there? I'm thinking to myself, you can't control the weather, and you certainly can't, predict what it's going to be like when you make your trip 2, 3, 6, 8, 12 months out. You just kind of have to, kind of roll with it. A few years back, we did a trip, and it was a spring break trip, and it just rained, just poured like 3/4 of the time. And, it was one of those cases where we just got our ponchos on, kept going. We had an extra set of shoes in the room, so we kind of just alternated shoes the entire time. Let one get dried out while the other, gets all taken care of. And it was just like one of those cases where we just kept going. And the interesting part is that during that same trip, I ran into this mom and son pairing, also staying at the Wilderness Lodge at that time, and it was kind of funny because we saw them after our first day, which was just completely rain. And I said, "So what'd you guys do?" And they're like, "Oh, we just stayed and hung out around the resort." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And she's like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "Oh, we went to Animal Kingdom." She's like, "In this rain?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And we just kept on going. And I think people need to realize the weather is the thing that you can control the least, but you can control how you deal with the weather. And I think right now is a big, it's a big seasonal thing. It's starting to actually get warmer. The weather is starting to get kind of weird. These are the spring showers. And people are now starting to all of a sudden worry about like hurricanes this coming summer and this, that, and the other. My whole take on it is, folks, you can't control the weather. No. Plan for it. Go on down. Have a couple ponchos. Have extra socks. Have extra shoes. You're going to have a great time no matter what.
The funny thing is you made a really good point, and you talked about bringing extra shoes.
Yeah.
And it may sound silly, but having a backup pair is actually a really good idea. I went back, oh man, I got to go back probably 2015.
Right.
I went down for the big event for Harry Potter.
Sure.
Waited on all those lines to meet everybody and yada, yada, yada. And it rained the first day I was there, and I had on my Croc moccasins with Disney World on it. Okay, no problem. Pouring rain. They were the only shoes I brought with me. So I spent 2 hours that night in the hotel room alternating putting the blow dryer inside of each shoe to try to dry them out. And it did not dry out well. So you might say, hey, why didn't you just go buy new shoes? You'd be surprised. You can't find shoes in Disney or Universal. I found flip-flops, and I am not a flip-flop man. I ended up most of the one day when it rained so hard the first day, I literally took my shoes off after a point because they were just collecting water, and I just walked around the park barefoot. And you might say that's disgusting, but there was literally no exaggeration, probably about 3 or 4 inches of water in the park anyway. It was flooded.
Yeah, no, I know.
So it didn't make a difference.
I mean, I realize that's actually not a very safe thing to do at the parks, but sometimes it is what it is. I will tell you this, most times I wear a pair. I'm a New Balance kind of guy for my daily walking shoes, and most of them are like 608s or 609s, the model number, and they're leather shoes. I learned after like the first or second Disney trip that you cannot go down there wearing a pair of leather shoes because when they get wet, they never dry. Period. So starting actually about 4 years ago, I basically started to wear my running shoes to Disney. And because they're first off, they're lightweight. Oh my gosh, it was so much better, so much easier. 2, they're mesh. They dry in a blink of an eye. And, 3, I could swap out soles if I need to, insoles and this, that, and the other. It works out great. So it's just one of those things where you kind of learn from experience. And those are kind of the things that I learned with that and Wickaway. Wickaway can be your friend. That's just one of those biggest things. And we found out during our first trip, not because of our own personal experience, but because of somebody else's fail. Ladies, don't wear white. Period.
Okay.
Just don't.
Okay. To tag along with this whole weather idea.
Sure.
Did you happen to see that there was reports that the yacht club was hit by lightning and they were actually evacuating guests?
I saw that. And the first thing is that the first reports, I mean, people were like, they're evacuating everybody into the, into the one lobby area. And I'm like, why? And no one really knew at that time. I just saw the pictures of everybody congregating. And, it was kind of like interesting. And all of a sudden I heard, it was reported that, lightning struck it. Now, I haven't gotten any confirmation on that. And the fact of the matter is that, lightning can strike a lot of different buildings within Disney and not have any damage whatsoever, because a lot of times they'll go ahead and they'll get hit by one of the lightning rods. I mean, people don't realize how many lightning rods that are on all those buildings, because they kind of camouflage them in such a way. But, because in the Midwest, we don't use lightning rods. We have trees. They're lightning rods. But, the fact is we don't usually have lightning rods anywhere in the Midwest for the most part. But at Disney, there's lightning rods everywhere because the land is so flat, and you kind of need that, conductivity higher above, because if lightning is going to strike, it's going to hit the first thing it could possibly hit. And a lot of times those lightning rods will, in essence, save the building. It'll protect the people. And that's why I'm like, not really, I'm not going to say I'm not concerned about it, but it's one of those things. I feel very safe at Disney during the thing. Now, Brian did mention here, he said they were evacuated to the convention center because the building shook and the fire alarms went off.
Yeah, fire alarms did go off.
Yeah, a few minutes later, they went back and fire crews checked for fire. Well, I'm sure the building shook because of, something like lightning. I was just like, yeesh. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that when I was growing up, I hated thunderstorms. And the fact that I hated thunderstorms because the power would always go out, and I hated when the power went out, because it was just, I lived out in the middle of nowhere. It was just one of those things. And, so it was one of those things where at Disney, I'm not concerned. I'm just not concerned about it when it happens at Disney, because I know that they have got so many safety plans in place. They've got it covered. I'm not really super concerned about it. I mean, even Christine's like, hey, have you seen the YouTube video of the Tower of Terror getting hit by lightning?
That was awesome.
I've seen that. I've seen, picture of Cinderella Castle getting hit by lightning. I've actually got in my collection, I have some lightning shots when I was standing on top of the Contemporary. Yeah, this makes sense, right? It was not raining where I was at, but it was like, you could tell like 10 miles out, it was thunder, lightning, rain, big time. You could just see the sheets of rain coming down. And I managed to get a few lightning shots. And, it's just one of those things that's really super hard to get a lightning shot, but you just kind of guess, you kind of feel it. What?
You just kind of hope that it happens,
I'll be honest, there are some people that are able to catch it. A real natural shot. I mean, I'm not talking about something that's been photoshopped or anything like that, but a real natural shot. But here's the thing. And I realize this is not really news, so to speak. This is weather. I guess weather is news. The fact of the matter is that, as I said before, Disney does a great job of keeping their guests safe. And, I've been in Florida during a hurricane. I've been at Disney during a tropical storm. I've been at Disney during what I guess you can call microbursts.
Oh, I have not done that. But the other two.
Yeah, I mean, it was intensity in 10 cities, man. I mean, it was the one time I wish I was staying over at Kidani Village at Animal Kingdom, because at Kidani you could actually park your car underneath the building, which is cool. Unfortunately, I was on the Jumbo House side. Diz Truck 1 was sitting out in the parking lot. So I purposely parked the truck away from anything that can fall and hit it.
Smart play. You would think a lot of people would park like, oh, I'm going to hide it under these branches not to get hit by certain, then the branch. Yeah, that's a very smart call.
No, I moved it away from light posts. Because I've seen, not at Disney, but I've seen a light post where the light would detach and go, boink, on top of somebody's car. And let me tell you, that'll relocate a hood really easily. I kind of put it out a little out in the middle of nowhere, just so that if anything, I was still able to see the truck from where I was, kind of, sort of, because I was, out there a little bit. but nothing touched it. I'm like, yes.
Nice.
So yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm gonna go on. All right, I'm gonna word this carefully,
Gingerly.
Yeah, very lightly. Can we? Why does Disney have to go on these trends?
What do you mean?
Okay.
Oh, I know where you're going. I'll go ahead. Go right ahead. Because if you weren't going to say it, I was, and I've got something to say about this. Go ahead.
I follow a lot of people on Instagram when it comes to Disney,
Sure.
and I've never seen the craze of the purple wall, but I respect people who are like, "Hey, this is unique." And over the past year, maybe a year and a half, I'm going to say that we've seen a major uptick in the popularity of certain spots. And I do put that hand in hand with Instagram's, rapid growth, I would say, over the past year. So Disney went out, they repainted, they put the symmetrical, the lines that almost look like the Epcot sphere.
Right.
But I'm assuming I'm assuming they have to go hand in hand. That was the idea for it. And I know a lot of people were very upset with that. To me, it was kind of cool. But once again, at the same time, I never gave a flying, whatever about this purple wall. So
wall.
To me, it was just like, oh, cool. They added lines to it. Well, now it seems that Disney wants to jump on the bandwagon with not only the purple wall, but this millennial pink nonsense.
Oh, that's
it's pink.
That's not where I thought you were going to go.
Pink.
That's not where I thought you were going to go.
Oh, okay. So you could rant in a second. But this drink, so let's go back to the purple wall. Okay. So the purple wall inside Tomorrowland, not only will they have magic bands to represent the purple wall,
right,
but they have an inspired drink. It's an inspired drink. It's what is it? I just want to read this properly. Taro tea slush.
Oh, that's the grape drink. That's not the pink drink.
No, this is the purple wall drink.
Right.
Yeah, this is the purple wall drink. It's called the purple wall slush, and it's the new taro tea slush that comes with the boba pearls, at whipped cream and purple sprinkles. Really?
What?
And you know what it is? You know what all it is? And I'm not gonna make it a gender thing. I'm just gonna say all these people are going to get it, and they're just posing in front of this wall now with this purple drink. I don't know, man. I guess good for them. They're gonna exploit another thing. But I don't know. And last thing before I let Chris go, and you guys got to remember, I'm looking at Chris on my screen, so don't think I'm not looking at the camera. It's just Chris is over here because I know I haven't seen the comments, but I know people are typing away over there. This millennial pink macaroon.
Okay.
What makes it a millennial pink and not just a pink? Is it just a different shade of pink? Why the word millennial has such a negative, in this day and age, has such a negative connotation with that word. There's such a negative connotation. Why must we add it to a macaroon? I don't know. I know it seems like I'm nitpicking and I'm just stalling for time here. It's just every day for literally the past, let's call it 4 days, I've seen 3 things on Facebook to the point of I've literally put my phone down. I've seen the purple wall slush. I've seen the millennial pink macaroon, and I saw the dragon catching on fire. 3 days in a row. That is all that has been on Facebook.
Well, the dragon catching on fire was that whole story was smoking. Sorry, too soon.
Please.
Too soon.
Is that where you thought I was going, or was it not?
The thing is that I thought that you were going to go right to the purple drink, but then you were talking about the pink. I thought you went to pink, and I thought you were
I went all over.
I thought you were going to talk about the purple drink, but no, you talked about the pink drink, and the pink drink. The funny part about the pink drink is that John from BigFatPanda.com, he went live while he went to go drink it. And he like took a few sips of it. He goes, no. he's like, it's too sweet. It's because it's like dissolved cotton candy in this shake. And he's like, I'm sorry. No, it's too sweet. And I kind of chuckled because I could see he was really trying to, he was really hoping it was going to be good. And, you think about it, you really hope that something like that is going to be very tasty. But the thing is that you eventually get to the point where you might as well just buy a 5-pound bag of sugar and just take a scoop and go, and just watch your blood sugar shoot up, through the roof. But the purple drink, I know it's not supposed to taste like grape. Okay. Cause think about it. When you see purple and you go to eat something purple, you think of grape.
Purple soda.
Purple soda. Purple Hubba Bubba bubble gum.
Yep. Grape.
Grape. And in fact, it reminds me that shade of grape that shade of purple reminded me of grape flavored pixie stick. Those big, gigantic pixie sticks. Yeah. I mean, it reminded me of a time back about 20 years ago. And by the way, this really did happen. It's like we took a bottle of Mountain Dew, passed it around. We each took a swig out of this big 2-liter Mountain Dew, took 4 of those gigantic pixie sticks that were grape flavored, poured it into the Mountain Dew, turned it, and just drank it. Yeah, you can just feel that sugar rush. Well, I kind of have a reminiscent of that. It's like, it looks good. I don't know what this tea is supposed to taste like, but you add whipped cream, you add sprinkles, and it just looks like, and you add those little boba balls.
Yeah, there's something like that.
Yeah.
Or let me ask you: is it the same stuff that we had in when we went over over
at Louis Canteen? Yeah, those. Yeah. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It may have different flavors to them, but yeah, those are the same. Okay. Those are the same types of.
Yeah, if you're a person who gets freaked out by texture, I don't think you're going to be a fan of that.
I think it was really kind of cool. And Alex really makes a point. She's like, it's just cute. It's cute and photographic food. It gets sales just for the gimmick. It's silly, but I'm personally a sucker for a good gimmick. I get it. And the thing is, it's just like how my daughter and I love to get our picture taken after we go get a Starbucks. She gets some kind of foo-foo type iced drinky thingy, and I usually get green tea because I don't drink Starbucks coffee in the summertime. And nowadays, I certainly don't drink Starbucks coffee, thanks to Expedition Roasters, because quite honestly, their stuff has totally spoiled me. Mm-hmm. And I'm not using that as a plug either, but I used to drink Starbucks. That's a free plug and it's the absolute truth, because I used to drink Starbucks a couple times a week, and now I don't even bother, going to Starbucks because of it. Anyway, but that was kind of a tradition for us. Now I can see, people. I can picture people doing that sort of thing. It's fun and this, that, and the other, and it's a kind of a gimmick, but some people like it, and that's fine. But I just don't necessarily find a problem with it. But it is one of those things where it gets a little bit too much. To have a hat that says Purple Wall, I got to be honest with you, until they started pushing stuff out about the Purple Wall, I really didn't. I mean, I've walked past the Purple Wall. I just never realized that it was such a thing. I'll be really honest with you. I mean, does that make me a horrible Disney person because of it? I don't think so. But, between that and, Spirit jerseys are also all the rage too. And, like Christine, she's like, I love to do mermaid stuff, especially the Spirit jersey, which my wife does have. And it's a really cool looking Spirit jersey. She's also got the mermaid leggings too, I might add. So,
and this is just speaking from somebody who's just never jumped on the bandwagon for some of these things, because obviously, no, I'm not going to boycott Disney over anything like this. Like, no, it's a smart play by Disney, because they know they've got people like Alex and like some of the other people, in the chat that are saying it, and they go bananas, BANANAS over. I'm sorry. If any of you could say the word banana and not sing it, you're something's wrong with you. They go crazy.
Okay, Gwen.
For what?
Okay, Gwen.
They go crazy for all these spirit jerseys, rose gold stuff. So yeah, absolutely jump on the bandwagon, Disney. Go make some money. It's not like you don't make enough of it, but go make more. If people listen, they're making a product that people want to buy. Good for them. I just personally sit back and was like, I agree with Timothy here. There is not enough bacon. And I think, can we have a bacon wall at Disney? And
well, okay.
Like a skillet of bacon.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I have been at the Food and Wine Festival before, and I went to the American Pavilion, and they had like a bacon maple cupcake. And I gotta be honest with you. You would think that sounds good, right?
No, it does not.
Hashtag fail.
I'm also one of those people that don't like my bacon with my sweets, though. If you give me bacon, wrap it in a scallop, or wrap a bacon on top of more bacon on top of a burger. Ooh.
Well,
Oof.
Yeah.
But once again, that's, but let me get back to the food real quick. So we talked about the new slush drink representing the purple wall. We touched on these millennial pink macaroons. They can be found at the Jolly Holiday Bakery Cafe in Disneyland Park and at the Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical Cafe and hand-scooped ice cream at California Adventure Park. The strawberry buttercream macaroon is dipped in white chocolate, then filled with a coconut lime jelly. Yes, I don't like any of that.
Coconut lime?
Yeah, that's what it says.
That's actually...
Also, the trolley treats at Disney's California Adventure Park will have a Lightning McQueen and a Mater. Their apples available through June 22nd. Their Granny Smith apples are dipped in caramel and chocolate, then decorated with marshmallow wheels, candy-coated chocolates, chewy chocolate candy, and sour belts. Last thing we have up here is... we got two more things, actually. The intermission food court inside Disney's All-Star Music Resort. Guests can find 2 new cupcakes to enjoy, as well as a blackberry lemon cheesecake. The new pineapple whip swirl cupcake consists of yellow cake topped with a swirl of vanilla and pineapple cream, white sprinkles, gold dust, and a dropper of pineapple whip gel. Their new chocolate red forest cupcake is filled with cherry compote, then topped with a cherry buttercream. Actually, the first one didn't sound bad. A whip swirl cupcake and yellow cake topped with a swirl of vanilla and pineapple cream with sprinkles. And last one, you have the Princess fans might be happy to see this Belle cupcake at the Sunshine Seasons inside the Land Pavilion in Epcot. It is a chocolate cupcake, has cherry filling inside, along with a dress made of lemon buttercream. And there are a few new treats to be found at the Fountain View in Future World at Epcot as well, such as brownies, Mickey-shaped cinnamon rolls, and Rice Krispie treats dipped in dark chocolate, drizzled with white chocolate, and covered in sprinkles. If that's not diabetes in a cup, I don't know what is.
I only think when it comes to Mickey, it's got to be milk chocolate, not dark chocolate. That's just me.
I'm a milk chocolate person, but I'm happy to see that they're starting to bring some more dark chocolate into the park for those people. I'm interested. Like, is it this Mickey shaped cinnamon roll? That's got me intrigued. Like, is it a Cinnabon? Because Cinnabon's good, but the Cinnabons that they have in Disney are not so good, in my opinion.
Well, I think cinnamon roll, and I think of the cinnamon roll that you can get at Gaston's Tavern, which I have not yet tried. And the thing of it is that, gosh, I'm starting to want one of these things now. But it's one of those cases where it's like, I see that, I'm like, ooh, that sounds really good. But here's the other thing. You think about sugar, and it kind of brings me onto the next thing I wanted to bring up. And actually, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Aaron kind of reminded me. He's talking about how you can get now alcohol in more places in the Magic Kingdom, and there are some people that lost their mind over this.
Over what?
Over the idea that you can get alcohol at sit-down eateries at Magic Kingdom. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. Why? I don't drink. And
Bring more.
Huh?
Bring more alcohol.
Well, the thing of it is here's the thing. Everybody's saying, well, Walt wouldn't have wanted it. Okay. I respect that. People are saying, oh, it's going to cause problems in the parks. And I'm like, they're only having it at the restaurants. And if you want to spend enough money to get verschnickered at a table service restaurant, be prepared to break out the cash. It's not going to be cheap, and I don't think they'll allow you to walk around with it either. So you kind of have to consume it there. I don't think it's really going to be a problem. I really don't. Again, I don't drink. I usually have 2 drinks a year. Both of them are at Epcot, to be honest with you. And usually one is a Grand Marnier slush, and usually the other one is a pint of Stella over at Rose and Crown. It's just, I'm a pretty simple guy.
Listen, I get the concern. It's a family atmosphere. I do too.
I respected the comments that were out there, but I think people lost their mind over it because they're like, it's ruining a tradition that's been instilled for so long.
Was it as here's the thing is I was not around back then, so I can only base this off of an assumption, but times change and maybe alcohol wasn't as prevalent or pushed forward as much as it is now.
Sure.
That would be a wild accusation on my part. I have no idea. All I'm getting at is the fact of, yes, do you run the risk? Like, take the tradition thing out of it, because I don't think that's listen, Walt wouldn't want supposedly, none of us know. Technically, going by, some people wouldn't want half the rides to even be there in the park anyway that they're currently in. So let's take that out. If you want to talk about concern of safety, I mean, take Epcot's Wine and Food Festival out of the equation, because you're basically just taunting people and daring them to just get drunk and eat a lot of food.
Sure.
Take that out of the equation. Do you really see a lot of people getting, crazy in Animal Kingdom or Epcot when it's not Wine Food Festival? I don't. Listen, I was there. I was there enough last year to justify what some locals were doing and the amount of time I spent in Disney last year.
Sure.
And in the amount of time I was there, I saw one time where people got out of hand, and it happened to be at a Wine Food Festival.
See, I don't think it's going to be a problem at the Magic Kingdom. I mean, they sell adult beverages everywhere else but. And usually the only time that you see a problem is at one of the festivals where there is alcohol served. And, and even then, I don't think this year was as bad as probably, say, the year before. At least in the
2 years ago was fun.
2 years ago it was really pretty intense, and I think this year it just seemed to calm down a bit, which I think it's better, right? It's better, and so it's one of those cases where I kind of. Brian actually put it pretty well. Pre-Disneyland amusement parks were places to get sloshed and family unfriendly as possible. The no alcohol was Walt making a place he could bring his kids to, but it's 62 years later and the amusement parks aren't the same anymore. And it's very true. And at the same time, Tim makes a big point, hey, it's too hot for that much alcohol. I just don't think that it's going to be, again, I mean, if you're going to go and you're going to sit down and you're going to drop $30-$40 on dinner and you want a beer or two with dinner, that's fine. But I don't see a beer or two or, a cocktail or two to really be over the top,
So let me spice it up for a second.
Sure.
So you're fine with it at a table service.
Yeah.
What happens if we saw kiosks? Where do you draw your line? Are you drawing the line at the dinner?
Am I drawing the line at the dinner? Well, I'll put it to you in this way. Because Trisha actually, I missed the comment, putting up the comment, but the fact of the matter is, because she kind of thinks that this is just the beginning, that eventually you're going to see kiosks for alcohol beverages at the Magic Kingdom. And she may very well be right. Do I think that they should probably not do that? I think it would be best if they did it, just left it at the restaurants.
And are you speaking just solely on Magic Kingdom?
I am speaking just solely of Magic Kingdom because it's already in place over at the other parks. And as I said, I don't really think it's that much of a problem at other parks. The only time that we see it is if you have a really bad evening over at Food and Wine Fest, or, any of the other fests they have in there that includes food and alcohol beverages. So I don't really think that big of a deal. I think right now Disney also has the prices up in such a way where it's like, if you want, okay, granted, anybody can pregame before they go to the show, but the fact of the matter is, if you're going to get for Schnickered, it's going to take you a while to get there, especially at $10 a pop. And so, Brian, if kiosk is blocking my view of the fireworks, hell no, it's gotta go. Thanks, Brian.
I'm a proponent of, I'm saying I would like to see kiosks move around. Listen, at the end of the day, whether you have it at dinner or you have a kiosk, if someone wants to get to that level of obnoxiousness, they're going to get to that level. Whether you give it a card, I know we're giving them an easier way to do it, right. But at the end of the day, if you really want to do it, you're going to do it anyway. And if people really want, they can go to Animal Kingdom, they can go to MGM, they can go to Epcot and do this. Listen, they have the rolling cart down at Disney Springs, literally moves, so you can literally drink at it and just walk with it. Yeah. I may have done it. I'm just saying, it's the point of these things are there.
Did you follow the cart, Danny? Did you follow the cart?
Followed me. Did you ever think of that?
Did you get to know the person by name? And with you basically saying, but it's 2 drinks per transaction. This is a separate transaction.
No, I didn't just buy 2 drinks. No, that was the guy back there. It's just a row of me, like in the Family Guy episode.
The row of me. Yeah.
Listen, families spend a lot of money, and parents need to be able to relax and unwind the same way. And maybe they don't get to do everything they like to do when it comes to rides or relaxing and everything. So if, a parent wants to responsibly drink, they're going to, let them responsibly drink. I'm okay with that. I truly am. I think it's weird though. Over the years, you've seen more alcohol being pushed into the parks and less tobacco in the parks. And I think that's where people have their biggest bout with people smoking randomly inside the park. Is I've seen more people just aimlessly walking through Epcot smoking than any other park. Now, Could you see them in a correlation with that? I'm just honest opinions.
Well, all I know is that when my daughter is with us and we're at the parks and someone's smoking in a non-smoke, in a non-smoking area, she'll be like, smoking kills, smoking kills. And she'll just
But that bothers her allergies though, right?
To her, it'll ruin her day. I mean,
yeah.
She'll purposely go away, but my daughter is small. She is very vocal. So she is. Don't let her size fool you.
So you had a question for me today, and you said, hey, come up with a fun topic. Well, I wasn't able to come up with a fun topic for the entire show, so hence why we did news. But I want to see how you answer this.
Okay.
My question to you is going to be, tell me what your favorite and least favorite queues are inside of Disney World.
Okay.
And why did you pick either one?
Okay. Favorite and least favorite queue. Boy, that's actually Okay. One of my, gosh, it's actually a little hard to think about it because I'm having all the rides go through my head.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah, so
That's literally. I know my answers and I still having them go through my head.
I always so I have to give you a couple different ones for this, but I always liked, I always thought Rock and Roller Coasters Q, not the fast or not the single rider, which I do most of the time anyway, but the regular Q is actually really cool. The old time recording equipment is actually really awesome. I just think that kind of nostalgia of the origins of recording of rock and roll is actually really pretty freaking cool. And also, I'll say Test Track, both old and new versions were actually
wow.
What? You didn't think
Wow.
You didn't think I'd go there?
No, Test Track was the one I dislike.
Well, okay. So here's a couple different things. I have a mechanical engineering background. A lot of people already know that I'm very mechanically inclined. I love cars. And I always wanted to get into the automotive industry. So the whole idea behind research and development, the old Q, was always really cool. And the funny part about it is that like one of the different types of engines that they would have there on display and cutaways, I've worked on those engines. So it was really kind of cool. I'm like, that one there it was in my truck. That one there was in one car I had. That one there, and it's like, those are the kinds of things that I was, teaching my kids. And then of course the new one, when they started getting into design elements, was something I really wanted to do. And I thought they did a really good job of the Q plus pre-show for the current version of Test Track. I really enjoyed it. Now, worst Q. That I think, okay, I'll be honest, the worst Q that I think that's out there is probably, I'm working my way through, just making sure I hit all the attractions that I think have horrible queues that I do ride. It's got to be Speedway, because there's nothing
that is a queue, but yeah,
exactly my point. It's see, the thing is that there could be so much more to that queue because of the history of indie racing. I just think that
it's all outside.
Yeah, well, it's all outside. It's boring as all get out. It's just like, part of the reason why I don't like to stand in line there is just because there's nothing to watch. I mean, you go to Haunted Mansion and you have a really awesome pre-show. Although if you think about it, most of the queue for Haunted Mansion is outside, and the bad part about that queue is that because there's a lot of growth, a lot of trees, there's no breeze. It's hotter than the hinges of Hades there. I mean, it's horrible, and not just hot; it's steam room hot.
Yeah, but look at Tower of Terror is the same thing. You're outside, then they bring you.
That's what I said.
What?
That's what I said. Tower of Terror.
No, you said Haunted Mansion.
Oh, but you're right. Okay, either way, I thought of both of them actually at the same time. One came out.
I love walking through Tower of Terror and the inside, and I love the video.
Yeah.
I just hate that you wait in a line, watch a video, and then they put you in the basement and you have to wait in a line again. At least Haunted Mansion, after the video, it's usually pretty quick to get on the ride from there. It being an Omni mover and all.
Yeah. I agree.
My favorite, and now I don't think it could be my favorite anymore because they took away a part of it, but Toy Story Mania.
That was your favorite?
Yes, until they took away the Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, you know what? It was kind of funny because the last time we went there and we saw that Mr. Potato Head was gone, I'm like, where's Mr. Potato Head? And there was
why?
And the thing of it is, it's like, I mean, I realized why they did it for the third track, but it was like, there still was room for him there. It's like,
where did he go is what I want to know.
I would so... If you know where Mr. Potato Head ended up, please contact us over at behindearspodcast@gmail.com.
We should make a t-shirt. Find Mr. Potato.
Have you seen this spud? Oh yeah, baby. We're gonna have a part 2 because I mean I'll go ahead and say we have our new Toy Story Land themed shirts benefiting Give Kids the World Village. You guys are hearing it first. We're going to talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the show, but you're going to hear it first over at the Behind Ears Podcast Facebook page, as well as the WDW Community Facebook page. You can find links to that particular really awesomely cool shirt, and proceeds all go to Give Kids the World Village. I'm going to let you guys know something, though. You really also want to hang out for the stuff we're going to be talking about for the marathon. But anyway, John's like, he spent the night in the box. Let's see. We actually have some people that, let's see. Kevin says he loathes the Toy Story Mania queue. Brian says his favorite queue is the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. Can't wait for the ride that gets started. I see what he did there. That's pretty funny. Not bad. But let's see. Maybe Mr. Potato Head will return. Oh, yeah. Christine says he's now a potato chip. I don't.
Winner, chicken dinner. I like it.
I like that one. But let's see. Alex actually agrees with Toy Story. Loved all the details. First time she went. Loved the popsicle sticks with the popsicle stains, half broken crayons, with the paper ripped just like you were a kid. Hey, so what is the cue that you don't like the most?
I'm not a fan of Test Track, but that's more of a nostalgia thing because I want the original one to come back. So I just have a lot of animosity towards Test Track at the moment. This is gonna. I think Space Mountain is terribly boring.
Here's the funny part. Ever since they changed it so you can actually play games to wait in line, I've yet to actually wait in line. I kid you not. I've always wanted to play the game.
Yeah.
But I've either fast passed it and walked always walked up to the tower right off the bat, or 2, there was no line whatsoever at Space Mountain. And yes, it does happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so
there's times I've ran on there with like a 15-minute wait, 10-minute wait, and it's not even that.
I know. It's like it's there are times it says 10 minutes. Chances are it's a walk on. Most of that 10 minutes is you walking.
Because that's a huge queue. That is you don't realize how big that queue is until you start walking it. It's blah. There's really not much going on. I'll tell you, like I've said the story many a times. I love the Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh? Is that what you just said? Really?
I love the Winnie the Pooh queue because I love watching the rambunctious children licking the wall of honey. Oh. I always find it so hilarious.
I'm sorry. I knew you were going to end up bringing that up, and it just makes me queasy thinking.
Oh man, Disney has done a really good job. Like I said, we talked about it, I love Tower Terror. I don't love the fact that boiler room. I get what they were going with. I get it. It's just never cool down there. And it just, I don't know. I feel very tight down there, very claustrophobic down there. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Before we end, just in case we run out of time here, Chris, why don't you talk a little bit about what is coming up this weekend?
Oh man! Okay, first off, I'm going to ask everybody that's either listening or watching, go over to either the WDW community page or the Behind Ears Podcast Facebook page. Go do this. The pin post for either one of them is an event page for our marathon show that is this coming Saturday, the 19th of May. Let us know if you're going to be there or not. And because here's the deal. We've got 12 hours worth of guests that are slated to be with us. We've got final confirmation on a third of them right now. They've all said yes, and now I'm just doing final confirmations. And we are going to raise money for Give Kids World Village. On that page is going to be a place where you can buy shirts to help benefit that. There's also a page directly for Give Kids World Village where you can make a monetary donation, and that goes all straight to them. They deal with it. They send you tax forms for your donations and a whole shot. We never touch a dime of it. I'm going to be honest with you. This is something that Danny and I really, truly believe in. To basically take a full day in this case, out of our lives to try to help those that can really use some extra magic in their vacations. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I actually have a manager where I work who was able to take advantage of Give Kids World Village's, I'll say, features and of their resort and what they were able to do to help accommodate the special needs for his kids. And after hearing his story, and I shared it with Danny, and we started talking with others, we decided that this was going to be something that we are going to make our annual fundraiser. And, the thing of it is that we don't ask for money throughout the year. You want to buy some swag, it helps the show normally. It helps us pay some of the bills. We've talked about that before. Danny and I are certainly not making any money off the show. No. The thing of it is that this is something that if you have a couple bucks, it would be great that if you guys can donate to that cause. Because here's also the deal. During the show, we're going to have some pretty awesome giveaways. Some of the giveaways is going to be something as simple as who emails us first. Some of these giveaways are going to be, hey, if you make a donation to Give Kids the World, no matter what the size, you're going to be put into a drawing for something big. There's one item that is rather valuable, a Dooney and Burke purse, that we are still trying to figure out what would be the best way to raffle that off in order to help really make some money for Give Kids the World Village. We really want and kindly ask everybody to consider, a small monetary donation. As I said, it's tax deductible, and we can all use a good tax write-off. Again, we don't ask for things. We don't beg people to buy our stuff or anything, but this is something for somebody else, and we just want to help pay it forward. So take that in consideration. We've got, I'm by Thursday, we hope to have all the guests totally 100% confirmed. Some people have been with us before. Some people are going to be new. There may even be some times we'll have some call-ins. We'll have people, hopefully people will leave some voicemail messages we can play on the show. Just a whole bunch of really awesome things. We want you to be interactive, even if you can't be with us during the entire 12 hours worth of show. We're going to list out who's going to be with us at what times. Most guests will be on with us for about a half an hour with a 15-minute in between guests where Danny and I will do things such as giveaways, take a quick break, things like that. I'm going to go make myself some corn dog nuggets and bring them back, or refill my ice for my gallon of green tea that I have to go get some, by the way. And, but yeah, basically to buy the shirt, to make a donation, go to the pinned post over at the Behind Ears Podcast Facebook page or over at the WW community page. It's all right there. Click that little button, say that you're interested in going to be there, or you're going to be there. Again, you don't have to be there for the entire time. And it's one of those cases where if you get entered into some sort of a prize and you're not online right then and there, that's going to be okay. So winners are not necessarily going to need to be present to win. That would just be very difficult to do anyway. Alex, I got to figure out how we're going to do the Alex is saying, hey, maybe sell raffle tickets for the purse. Going to figure out how to do it. I have an idea. I want to document it because of its value. And so everybody has an idea of what we're doing. But yeah, it's one of those cases, Brian, I think this is very well put. You never know if your family might end up in the same situation. Hope heals. And as he said, donate a lot. Donate what you can.
Yes, donate what you can.
You know, but it's really awesome. So that's kind of what's going on with that. And you know what? That's gonna be a long day. And we saved kind of some of the funnier guys for last, because there's a number of podcasters that are joining us, which is awesome, because it just goes to show how the Disney podcasting community is going to, you know, join in on this. And we saved some of the funnier people that we hope to have some really lively conversations towards the end. By then we're going to need it, because I'm sure we're both going to just be beat to death. But we do this not only to give you some great entertainment, but also for a great cause. So we hope that you guys will be there. Go out there, tell us that you're going to be there. There are people that actually watched us last year they streamed it to their big screen TVs and stuff like that, which I thought was really pretty awesome. I would probably say it would maybe better for you to watch on a computer or a TV rather than a phone, especially if you need to use your phone in order to send an email to enter in for some of the smaller prizes. By the way, and I'm going to tell Danny, I haven't told Danny this yet, but the great folks at Give Kids World Village is actually going to send some information about some of the things that they are putting up for giveaways for us to provide our viewers. And they're leaving it up to us to how to pass them out, and they will be sending those out to those that win that. So we're going to have even more stuff to give away. I mean, seriously, cool. You got to watch in order to know what we're going to tell you to do in order to get prizes. It's going to be so cool. So there, you want to be there. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, behindearspodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a private message over at the Behind Ears Podcast Facebook page. Bounce a message over at the WDW community page. If you're friends with us over on Facebook, you're more than welcome to send us a private message. I actually have a little bit more access to that than Danny does during the day. I have, just because of how our work is. If neither one of us get back to you right away, we usually do most of our work, podcasting work towards the end of the day, and we'll answer your questions then. It's going to be Saturday, starting at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And it's going to go until 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, that hurts so bad.
It hurts so bad. I really hope that someone orders us a pizza. And I mean, it's one of those things. And, it's going to be great. It's going to be
so excited.
It's going to be great. So Danny, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a trip.
All right. Well, with that being said, Chris, take us away.
All right. You heard the show, and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net, and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home.
And with that being said, everybody, thank you for joining us here on another episode of Behind the Ears Podcast. I am Uncle Danny. Go over to the WDW community page, give us a like, ask to join, come hang out with the 4,000 members strong. Check out the new Toy Story shirts we're doing in honor of Give Kids the World. I know Alex put up a video today that's been getting a lot of views already of the new Coach stuff available for Disney. And give us a like over on all the fun places like the fun little recording says at the end. I am Uncle Danny. I will see you all on Thursday. Peace out.
I'm Mr. Chris. I, too, will also see you over on Thursday. Thank you for being a part of our community, being a part of our family, and being a part of this program. Until we meet again, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful and magical day. Take care.
Deuces.